We often hear that Kenya has some of the most best laws in the world. Our constitution is a global masterpiece, yet our elections are frequently cited among the most contentious.
There are very few electoral systems in the world that are governed by more law than Kenya. Kenya's electoral system is governed with a lot of law, and yet we have one of the worst governed elections in the whole world.
We legislate everything, down to the color of a ballot paper. So, why does the rule of law feel so broken? Today, we are diving into a conversation with Advocate Elisha Ongoya to find out why the software of our nation is failing the hardware of our laws. One of the most profound takeaways from Ongoya is what he calls the good manners doctrine. As a journalist covering the halls of power, I see laws passed every day to curb corruption and cybercrime, but Ongoya argues that you cannot create a good-mannered society through coercion.
In my attempt to add flesh to the good manners doctrine, I have asked in many forums of lawyers, can you legislate on good manners? Can you, by use of law, create good-mannered men and women? I believe myself that good manners are better generated through social movements, social interactions, social efforts, methods of parenting, methods of relations at a family level, methods of relations at a community level, how we relate in the class environment, how we relate in church, in the mosque, in the temple, how we relate at the workplace. We can create good manners through those forums of interaction than through legislation, through coercive instruments. So I agree with you that if we think that we are going to create good-mannered men and women through legislation, then we have gotten it wrong.
Now let's talk matters governance. We often compare Kenya to South Korea or Singapore, nations we were on par with in the 1960s. What did they do differently? They chose a method over hope.
We enter deals every day. You sign contracts with your sponsors of this program or with other role players, with your technical team that helps you here, and so forth. The basic philosophy in life for me is twofold. Number one, you cannot make good deals with bad guys. It is a stupid approach to life to say I have struck the best deal with the worst guys. You cannot use hope as your methodology of doing things. Therefore, what those societies you have pointed out did, they had a method. And that method was put in the hands of good guys. That's the only way those deals worked. In our case, we had hope put in the hands of our worst sons and daughters. There is a system of government called a kakistocracy. A kakistocracy is a leadership by the worst. So if you talk about Singapore, you talk about Korea, you talk about China, those countries get the right men and women for the job. If we continue lying to ourselves that one day we shall be like Singapore, called a false image of ourselves.
As a political journalist, I find that our greatest hurdle isn't just bad leaders, but a collective lack of self-belief. We look to the West for validation, even when our own scholars are striking for basic rights.
When I looked at how Kenya got independence with the Lancaster House Constitution, South Africans rejected that idea. Because when you draft a constitution, the person in charge has a say on the final product. We have our own institutions of higher learning. Today, all our lecturers in public universities are not teaching our children. They are on strike. That is not the best way to build our institutions. You see, we must build them so that against all the odds, against all these historical injustices, we one day get there.
The ultimate political lessons from Advocate Ongoya isn't found in a law book. It is in the idea that simplicity is the ultimate complexity. In a country where we worship billionaires, he reminds us that a fulfilled life doesn't require plundering to public coffers.
These things happen because of lack of self-belief. That we think, because I'm a Kenyan African, causing a South Sudanese to lose life I can do it so long as I benefit from my pocket.
Yeah.
It is lack of self-belief.
Yes.
And once you do that, it matters not that you build the right rail. Infrastructure can be washed away on a day if you have the wrong value system. This kind of ours called Kenya. If you can aspire to be in the income bracket of the formal income of our ministers, because our ministers don't survive on their formal income. They make a lot of money on informal ones. The formal income, if you just made sure that our entrepreneurs, our young people can do that.
Yes, they can.
These young people who are creating a lot of ideas here
Yes, they
can create an income of about 500,000 shillings per month.
Yes.
Is our problem a lack of laws or a lack of good-mannered men and women in the dockets that matter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more deep dives into the politics of our nation. My name is Tony Nandasaba.